What does the number 5 have to do with success? Usually you hear 7 is a lucky number. 5 isn't lucky. It's actually a rule with work and determination and the best word of all, progress. We are diving into the rule of 5 today. Hey everybody, welcome to another Kristen and Charlie chat. The rule of 5, people. Now listen, you might be sitting here thinking in the first few minutes that we talk about this, are you kidding me? And I'm here to tell you this is so true. Now, you can Google it and see all of the successful people and thought leaders. There are so many people that weigh in on this, but regardless of what all the thought leaders tell you, I am telling you, when I started employing this little, I'll call it a little trick. It's a little, it's definitely a little trick that I don't know why I had never heard of it until recent years, but I'm doing it. I have a friend that's doing it in his business. And as I talk to more and more people that employ this rule of 5, the steps to success become these bigger, more accomplished ones. We just did a video on Eye on the Prize. The finish line is being accomplished much faster. My only struggle with this one is making it a habit that sticks and that I stick to doing this every single day. So let's dive into, Charlie, what this concept is of the rule of 5 in achieving success.
I'm not listening anymore because you said a word I don't like. Rule. You said the rule of 5. And I do remember years ago when I heard that, I'm like, rules. Oh my God, all the things I have to do. I don't get it. This is so hard. And then I realized you could change it if you'd like. The 5 actions I'm going to take today that are going to move me closer to the end in mind, which is a goal, which is a feeling, which is something, okay, that is moving me in a direction that's getting me out of where I'm maybe not presently doing so great in. and the rule of 5 could be, say it's physical. So I just physically want to look better, feel better, sound better, and feel I have more positive energy and then have it. So maybe one of the things there's 5 things I need to do on a daily basis, maybe every other day. But let's say the rule of 5, I'm going to do 7 days a week, just 5 things. These 5 things aren't going to take up the entire day. They're just 5 things that I'm going to do. One could be get out of bed at a certain time. That's 1, done. I said I was going to do it. I did it. That helps. Physical, mental, a lot of me right there. Rule 2, drink a large glass of lemon water to help my body. Okay, that's a second rule. Rule 3, maybe go for a walk, do some stretching, do a little workout. Okay, that could be 15 minutes to 30 minutes. Rule 4, reflect on I'm doing the right things. Celebrate my wins. Seriously. I mean, it's like get in touch with this that you're doing. And rule 5 could be go to bed at a decent hour to get 8 hours of sleep. Because that rule of getting 8 hours of sleep is going to pay dividends to my physical health. So once I broke it down to, because I thought like, oh my God, rules. That means I got to learn something because rules, it complexed it for me. And then I stepped it back and said, there's 5 simple things that I can do to help move me in the direction. That's how I started out. So it wasn't scary.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I actually started years ago. A very good friend of mine had switched careers and went into acting. And he said to me, he did the rule of 5 differently, where he did a 30. So it was 7 days in a week, 5 times every day. He would reach out to submit his name for auditions. This was before COVID. He would submit his name for auditions. And I guess he did this rule of 5, but he chunked it a little differently because his weeks would get a little crazy. He was also like raising 3 kids and all this different stuff was going on. But he stuck to this rule of making sure that he reached out to 5 places to audition, or at least reach out to casting people and whatnot. And when I tell you, within months, his calendar was booked solid with acting gigs, and it was fun to follow him on social media because all of the friends that he had in the business were like, "What is happening over there?" And I'm like smiling ear to ear, watching all their comments. I'm like, man, because he did this one little thing and he stuck to it every single week, making sure he did it. So then I started employing that for getting speaking gigs when my book had come out. And the same thing happened. Now, I will say in the beginning, it was a little slow. And me with working on patience, I'm a work in progress. But then it's like it just starts to snowball. And it became such a habit that I was reaching out to all these different places. And then everything was packed. I made the mistake of saying in very early March or late February of 2020, oh my God, I've overbooked myself. Now what do? I've got to backpedal a little bit. And then the universe took care of that for me and shut down the speaking industry for quite some time. But I actually started re-employing that, especially as we're getting the children's book in the world and getting the summit out, getting ready for that. I am back into that mode of the rule of 5 every day to grow the reach of Thriving Blind Academy and the impact. And now I don't know why I hadn't thought about that in terms of me personally. I did instill a few things, but I think now if I look at this, I know that you don't like the word rule, Charlie. This is where we're so opposite, because I like when there's rules. I like to know the boundaries, the limits, that everybody's following the same thing, right? So maybe if I call it a rule of 5 for the things that I need to do for myself in a day to keep my mind clear and productive and creative, that's a totally different way of looking at it than what we just talked about in the other video that we recorded about how I have to set reminders for myself to readjust and reset my mind each day. Interesting how these things just keep helping Kristen.
How Kristen chooses to set reminders.
There you go.
And what's nice about these rules, I'm the designer of them. So I like them, so I don't struggle following them. If I do, then I can change the rule. So you could start out as in somebody watching this with the rule of 1. That's okay. It's do one thing every day different that has helped moving you in the direction that you want to become better at, or to learn a skill, or to do something. I do some things that I do it once a day. And it could be I watch 30 minutes on YouTube at night of inspiration, motivational, something to help engage my mind. So that's one thing I do. I don't do 5 of those a day because I wouldn't get anything done. But there's like launching a book. There's 5 things you could do until the launch day. Every day to build to the launch. There's launching an online course program. There's 5 things you could do every day and to move that to completion. If you're in sales, you could make 5 prospecting sales call a day. If you're in whatever it is, right? But you could do 2, you could do 3. But what happens a lot of time, if I say I'm going to make 3 calls today, by the end of that 3rd call, I want to make the 4th one. Mm-hmm. I want to make the 5th one. So this kind of triggers you to help move the momentum into each step. So all my thing is don't worry about 5, don't worry about rule. Know that you are the designer. If life best lived is life by design, we like to say. So if I'm the guy making the rule, well, then I'm the guy that's going to follow the rule. And is that rule aligned with the end in mind? Is it help moving me in the direction? Then those are probably good rules. And if something's not working, change up one of your rules. These aren't my rules. This is what you should do. This is what you sit back, we think about our goal, the change we want to make, and then we create some action steps. Then we call them rules because the only thing that's going to get us there is constant vigilance and that day-to-day doing.
Do you know what's funny on this topic? And it kind of, well, this always happens with the success principles. They leak into each other, right? It's like they're all foundational and built upon each other. But months ago, I'm trying to think of when I made that commitment to myself, but I made an agreement with myself that my physical fitness was going to be one of my top fives in my rule of five for myself, and made it part of my miracle morning and every single day. Not this whole, well, the world says that you should work out 3 days a week. I know for my brain to keep it functioning at the level that I would like for it to be to accomplish the things I want to accomplish in the next 10 years, working out every day keeps that dopamine and makes me happy and all of the things. So I stopped making excuses, make sure that every day, even if it's all the way in the evening and I still have my running stuff on and never got for a run, I do it because of how I feel and all that I want to accomplish. But the funny thing is with this, the byproduct of that with working out every day and trying new things, and I joined a gym because I realized I was by myself a lot on Zoom and needed connection with other people. Just a couple of weeks ago, a friend of mine at that gym said, I saw that they were all talking about this event that was happening, and they were doing some really crazy workout stuff that I thought looked like a lot of fun. So I was asking about it, and here there's this big fitness event called DECA that I had never heard of. It's in the Spartan thing. It's some of those crazy things that really fit people do. So I was asking them about it, and they were like, it was a Wednesday, and they said, well, it's happening this Sunday. It was the day before my 51st birthday. And I said, I love to do a challenge to see like what I'm really made of right around the time of my birthday. I mean, I've done hot yoga, I've done an 8-mile run, like crazy things. So I'm like, I think this year's crazy. Well, it's a good thing I didn't know a lot about DECA, because I probably would have backed out. But here's my point. Because I had committed to my physical fitness for my mental health, I was completely prepared to step into this event that people thought I was nuts, that I had never done it before, and I was only preparing for 4 days. And really, it was about your fitness level, not that you could really do some of these things. Now, I had to have conversations with myself that entire morning on the way to the event that it's okay to come in last place because I had never done it before, and I do not like to do things that I am not the best at. I did not come in last place. It came pretty close to last, but I had the best time, and I was able to be incredibly competitive because I had already committed to my physical fitness. So the point is, when something, you have this rule of five, you make these agreements with yourself and you're chugging along, other opportunities may come that you're fully prepared for, or a curveball will come that won't throw you as off course because you have all of these great things already in place.
Yes. That's all I got is yes. It's funny how the linchpin, how it connects, how one principle, one this, that, they all kind of start. It's saying the same things. Almost every principle saying the same thing over and over in a different way. And I love how you said my physical the physical for my mental well-being. Most people do it for their physical well-being, but your physical well-being gets taken care of. But you find that physical, what you do in the gym and out running and all that, it pays huge dividends for your mental state too.
Yeah. Yeah. And I figured that out years ago when I was really at rock bottom in the beginning, when my divorce stuff went off the rails. I actually just one morning when I didn't know what else to do said to myself, when was I the happiest in my life? And can I take one step towards that, what I was doing? What was I doing? And it was when I discovered soccer in 4th grade and then was outside playing all the time. And I got involved in a lot of sports and physical fitness competitions and those kinds of things. So I started just doing that to try to feel that dopamine level again. And that was the catalyst to me coming out of that spiral that I was in that pit. But it's not necessarily that was the thing that changed everything. It gave me the clarity and the confidence and the courage to go take the steps I needed, like to go to therapy, to get back in touch with my soccer team, to help me figure out how to help my kids, to do the self-help stuff, to seek out different groups of people to hang out with. Like, so I don't want people to think that, oh, when you do this rule of 5 or you instill one thing in your life, it changes everything. No, it gives you that wherewithal or the clarity to take the next right step.
It's the building blocks of moving. I keep saying, but it's moving in a direction. Are you living a life of mediocrity and surviving? Or are you stepping into and understanding that inner prompting, there's more to life. I want to strive. I want to thrive. I want to make a larger impact. And those are good thoughts, but they don't happen without practicing some of this discipline in our life. Nobody shows up and does it for us. We can't pay anyone because we all have gifts. And in order to engage them and help bring them out of us, we gotta do some things. And some of it is exercise, some of it's eating healthy, some of it's going to bed on time, some of it's believing in ourselves, some of it is a lot of it. So that's what we're talking about. And you might need to implement the rule of 5. You might need the rule of 3. You might need an accountability partner that you talk to every morning. But that's the fun part is, I don't know. I know it works for me. Kristen said I went back through my life. I looked at what brought me the most joy, power, confidence, courage, clarity, and it was when I was free, running like a mad woman, scoring goals on the course.
Oh yeah.
Because you were coming from a purpose that was given to you, that once we step into that, life becomes easier. You and I doing this, well, we could, if people would like to stick around, we'll do it for 2 more hours. No problem.
We get in a zone.
Because we love it. Right.
Yeah. I watch my kids, and if listeners and viewers out there want to explore this a little bit, watch your kids in their zone of what they love the most. I mean, when I watch my Michael, he has done and excelled at a lot of things, but when I watch him at a piano, it is unbelievable to see him go into a zone where he is just at his happiest. And when he was living at home before he went off to college and now, lives on his own, there were days when he was completely stressed out or he was spiraling or whatever. And I'd hear him, sometimes it was 45 minutes to an hour at that grand piano. And then he would finally hit his Zen moment of he got all of his release out and just had to readjust his brain. But and I watch my daughter on a basketball court or in a soccer goal, like when they're really in their element of what it is that they love to do. Figure that out for yourself. What is it that is one thing, and make sure that that's in your 5 in some capacity every day, or your 3, or if it's your one thing to start taking the next right steps to your finish lines or moving forward or improving your life. What is that one thing that you can do to help you on that way? And share it in the comments here, and share if you have a rule of 5, if you've instilled that already and how it's worked for you. Or if you're deciding today while you're watching this or listening to it that you're going to try a rule of 5 or 3, let us know you started it. We'll check in with you and see how it's going, and keep us updated in the comments here. Let's have a conversation about this, because, we sit here and we're smiling and saying it's worked so much for us. We've had so much success. There are days when it's challenging, and that's when it's fun to have somebody cheering you on. And we can do that here.
Yes, and we appreciate you. We appreciate those of you who watch this and like it and comment and share it, because we're not alone. We all need that support, that guidance, and Kristen and I don't have it all figured out, but we practice these principles in our daily lives. We get results, we share, we talk about our struggles, our fumbles, and today I'm doing the rule of none. And we get the results from that day, too, and we share about them. So thanks for being a part of this fun journey with us.
Yeah, it's been extraordinary. Make sure you share this with people that you know can benefit from it. Bring them into this stratosphere as well. And we love to be of service to this community that serves us so well. So thanks, everybody. Make sure you hit subscribe and the notification bell so you know when we have new videos coming out each week. And we'll see you next time.